Hello everyone, my name is Andrew and I wanted to read to you a letter I'm sending to several stakeholders in the community of Champaign, including the mayor, school superintendent, and police chief, to name a few. And I also want to apologize in advance for the poor quality of the audio. This is in regards to the recent accident on Prospect and Daniel involving my daughter, which is displayed here on the screen. I'll put a link to the article in the video description. I recently had to endure some of the worst pain of my entire life to date. No, it wasn't my recent pancreatitis episodes that hospitalized me for a couple of days both times, or the time when I broke my nose, or the time when I fractured my skull, even when I broke my hip. I was waiting up in my hotel room just outside of Tel Aviv in Israel. It was 11:30 p.m. Israel time for our planned 3:30 Central Time video call with the rest of my family. I finally texted my wife when she was more than 15 minutes late and asked what was going on. I figured since it was a nice day, that maybe they stayed to play at Southside with some friends at the park. I found out at 4 p.m. that my family was at the hospital after my daughter got hit by a car walking home from school. First I was worried, panicked, heartbroken, scared, and a rush of so many other feelings. Then I started to get mad. Mad that I was here and that she was there. Mad that this happened to her, to us. Mad that my wife had to do this all alone. Mad at my job for sending me here. Mad that this happened just a few feet from our front door. I slept only about 2 hours that night, just tossing, turning, and sweating. I'm still thinking about it often, and I'm even more worried about them walking to and from school. I know we got lucky with just 2 broken bones, but what might happen next time? When I was a child, I frequently walked or rode my bike to school. And no, this is not going to be your grandfather's story about going 5 miles uphill both ways in a blizzard with no shoes. My walk was a relatively short 7-block trip, and sure, we walked in the rain and snow on occasion, but not all the time. My mother and father rarely even left the house with us, most days just saying goodbye at the door. I recall having a nice old lady crossing guard, helping us across Springfield Avenue at the New Street intersection every time. We also had the help of school crossing street signs and a painted crosswalk, letting drivers know about the potential for children there. The guard would wait patiently in her car for us, and as we approached, my older sister, myself, and my younger brother, she would get out, get her bright orange flags ready to stop any and all traffic, and she would quickly get into the street and stop oncoming traffic for us. I don't even recall ever waiting more than 30 seconds to cross the street. We also had another crossing guard helping us cross the final street right in front of the school, which was just a small neighborhood brick-paved road at the intersection of White and Elm. Now let me tell you about my daughter Grace's walk to school. She typically walks with me and her younger brother Evan, who's in kindergarten, the quick 1.5 blocks that we live from Southside. We all cross one of the busiest streets in town, Prospect Avenue, without any assistance whatsoever. There's no crossing guard, there's no school zone, there's no painted crosswalk, and there's no signs. Sometimes we wait at the corner for nearly 5 minutes for just a small gap in the traffic. And when we finally cross, we don't walk, we run, as the cars pay no mind to our existence. After we run across, Evan usually wants to take a break because he's already gotten tired. When we arrive at the end of the block, we still have Pine Street to cross, but here we have the luxury of a faded crosswalk painted on the road and a school crossing sign. Unfortunately, they are little help at this point because this is only a small neighborhood road that, other than school buses, has little to no traffic. That is, if you exclude the parents who blatantly ignore the 2 signs posted out front of Southside about it not being the place to pick up or drop off your children. Prospect has twice as many car lanes as Springfield, and the speed limit is higher as well. Yet, there are school crossing guards, signs, lights, and crosswalks on streets and intersections with far less traffic than Prospect, and also on streets that are a further distance away from schools. So why is Prospect being ignored at its nearest point to Southside? Drivers need to be aware of the school that's hiding just one short block away, just as they're made aware of schools that sit directly on Prospect, like Porterfield or Judah. So, you tell me, whose story is worse? Grandpa's, mine, or Grace's? I've had some additional time now to cool down and compose myself and think more about the incident and how it can be prevented for all children in the future, not just my own. Do any of you remember Sergeant Don Shelton? Check this article written approximately 1 year ago about Sergeant. I'll also link this in the video description. I would drive past Officer Shelton almost every day to work in front of Porterfield, and I was always thankful to see him. Sure, I had to slow down and even sometimes stop, and it took me an extra 30 seconds to get to work that day, but I was fine with it. I knew he was not standing there so that I would be late for work, or because he was cruel and liked to watch people in their fast cars drive unbearably slow. He would give some drivers the look if they were doing something he did not like. He did it because he cared about the people in his community. More needs to be done on Prospect at the Daniel intersection to keep school children safe. If I need to, I'll do it myself. I'll take Sergeant Shelton's lead and park my car across the center lanes of Prospect, put on an orange vest, and watch cars as they pass. I know what you're thinking, and yes, this is partially because I'm a selfish parent and I want what is best for my kids, and I want to keep them safe. What parent doesn't? But I'd also do it for the rest of Southside children as well. I would stand watch diligently, and if drivers are doing something I don't like, going too fast, giving me looks for making them slow down, or something else, I would give them a nice long stare as they drive by. Staring is my way of silently telling them to think about their actions and how they might impact the lives of others. And I want the City of Champaign, the Champaign Police Department, the Champaign City Council, and Champaign Unit 4 School District to think about their actions on this issue. John F. Kennedy once said, "There are risks and costs to action, but there are far less than the long-range risks of comfortable inaction." The continued inaction of Champaign about this dangerous intersection has already cost us a broken limb. I urge you, Champaign, to act quickly on this issue before any other accidents occur at the cost of lives instead of broken limbs. I plan to have at least one of my children attending Southside School for the next 8 years. Please help to make those 8 years, and many more, safer for us all. Thanks for your time.